Nicholas Hoult joins Harry Potter TV series. The trans community deserves safety and dignity and respect and total acceptance. But I love Harry Potter.
Today's the day that ends in Y, so delusional woke people on the internet are complaining about JK Rowling again. Hey guys, welcome back to the show, your home for independent and nonpartisan commentary and analysis on politics, media, and internet insanity. This story is going to be more in that latter category and kind of unserious, but it made me chuckle that people are still doing this stuff in the big 2026. As y'all know and probably noticed, I was gone Friday out to attend a funeral, and so I didn't have any content for you guys, but we'll do a couple lighthearted videos for the weekend and be back to normal programming here on Monday. So when I'll be back home in Miami. Anyway, guys, JK Rowling just lives large in the minds of so many people because she disagrees with the transgender movement, because she funds some advocacy organizations that go against the kind of trans rights lobby and the transgender community, what they want in terms of policy, primarily over in the UK where a lot of this is happening. But at the same time, she continues to obviously be the progenitor of a massively successful franchise that I believe is being remade for a show. And for some people, they just can't get over that. And their arguments and complaints about it make extremely little sense. So we're going to check in with the latest thing they're upset about, and maybe this time they'll have some good points. Spoiler alert, they do not have any good points. Anyway, our main character here is the non-binary influencer Matt Bernstein, who's kind of the prototypical woke gay dude. He's got more than 2 million followers on Instagram, very popular YouTube following as well. And he decided to use that significant platform to complain once again about people daring to work with JK Rowling. Let's take a look at his video and see if any of it makes sense at all. Let's watch.
Nicholas Hoult joins Harry Potter TV series. John Lithgow considered quitting Harry Potter reboot over JK Rowling's trans views. But he didn't. Belle Powley, who's starring in the new Harry Potter series, says she strongly disagrees with JK Rowling's views on gender. I think the trans community deserves safety and dignity and respect and total acceptance. But I love Harry Potter. But at a certain point, we are going to have to choose, aren't we? And I personally think that inflection point happened kind of a long time ago.
I just want to pause on this for a second and say, I love when some left-wing types do this. They find people saying extremely reasonable things. I can think of a couple examples that happened as well recently with the Francesca Hong election, where her opponent, David Crowley, who's more of a moderate Democrat, said a couple things that were extremely reasonable. Like he said, for example, I don't believe Democrats have a total monopoly on good ideas. I want to be open to ideas from Republicans and independents as well, and whatever will best help the people, or something like that. And all the lefties clip that up as if that's, can you believe this crazy thing he said? And actually, to any normal person, sounds incredibly reasonable. Our friend here, Matt, the they, them, or whatever, he just did the same thing where he was reading this actress's quote saying I have my own views on trans issues. I support trans rights, all this and all that, but I love Harry Potter and I want to work on this project and create something everybody will enjoy. And he's in such an echo chamber. I don't know, on Threads in LA, wherever he lives, or what have you, that he somehow thinks that's anything other than a statement 90% of people will find incredibly reasonable. It's just they're incredibly out of touch, and they don't seem to see it. They genuinely think that everyone else still has 2014 identity politics Tumblr brain. We don't actually. And just as a matter of logistical and practical logic and reality, his arguments totally fall apart, as we'll go through.
Can you separate the art from the artist is, I believe, a debate worth having. When the artist is dead, or at least not actively engaged in the harm we're trying to separate the art from. Otherwise, supporting the art looks a lot like helping JK Rowling fund the JK Rowling Women's Fund, which is a pool of JK Rowling's personal money that she gives to people who have been sued for anti-trans discrimination.
Okay, well, some of those people she's supporting have essentially just been persecuted for having an opinion. Like, I don't know if it was this particular fund, but she supported Maya Forstater, who I believe just expressed her opinions and got in trouble for it. She didn't discriminate against a trans person. And the idea that whatever you think of JK Rowling's advocacies, I don't buy this idea that, well, you're supporting funding it. She has infinity money, dude. She's one of the richest people on planet Earth. She wants to give $100 million to this fund, she can. Whether or not people make a Harry Potter TV show that has nothing to do with trans rights. The logic here is totally broken. The train of connection between supposedly supporting this harmful advocacy that at least a fair amount of what JK Rowling says, a lot of people would find reasonable and not, inherently evil or anything. But even if at face value, even if she really was funding something terrible, okay, it has nothing to do with the show. And she has infinity money, essentially. So there's no through line between watching a Harry Potter show and enjoying it, or an actor working on a project that has nothing to do with transgender people and will bring millions of people joy and further their career. It's like a win-win-win-win to every single person involved. And then over in the corner, you have Matt Bernstein and his other, I don't know, crazy woke friends on Threads being like, what about us? This hurts our feelings. No one cares, Matt. And you're just grasping at straws here because there's really no meaningful connection. When she has infinity money and this actual project and art of Harry Potter and everything surrounding it has nothing to do with trans people, hurts trans people in no actual way, and it actually just brings millions of people joy. I'm not even one of them. I read it as a kid, but I'm not like a Harry Potter fan. I'm not invested in this. I just don't see any sense to this nonsensical outrage. Let's keep going now. If you or your child spent years growing up on social media and experienced serious mental health issues, you should hear this. Recently, a jury ordered Meta and YouTube to pay millions for their role in designing and promoting addictive platforms. They knew their apps could contribute to anxiety, depression, and body image issues, but did not share those risks while prioritizing profits. The recent historic verdict underscores the consequences of those decisions. Now, Morgan & Morgan is stepping up to hold these platforms accountable for the harm they caused. Click the link in my bio to take a short quiz, as you may be entitled to a potential recovery of over $1,000. Now back to the show.
To be clear, the JK Rowling Women's Fund is not a charity that supporters can donate to. It's the Harry Potter money injected straight into the veins of transphobes. It looks like helping JK Rowling donate £70,000 to For Women Scotland, an anti-trans organization that successfully lobbied the UK Supreme Court into excluding trans women from the legal definition of women.
Well, okay. Because technically they're men, so I don't necessarily think that's the most outrageous thing in the world. But regardless, whether you agree or disagree with JK Rowling funding this group in Scotland, he just said it looks like her giving them £70,000, which is what, less than $100,000? Or roughly $100,000? It's like, dude, she's a billionaire with a B. Are you okay? You think, oh, well, she wouldn't have been able to cut them that check if actors hadn't signed on for this new HBO series, or if people weren't still watching Harry Potter. That's not reality. Are you high? What? She has infinity money. This is all just coping and seething for no reason. Goodness. All right, let's keep going. Maybe Matt will make a single coherent point. Don't hold your breath. You'll pass out.
And it looks like funding a lifestyle that allows this woman to sit in her decaying castle tweeting about trans people all day while black mold slowly rots her brain. And I get it, we all have to work, but Nicholas Hoult, you are a BAFTA-winning, Golden Globe-nominated superstar who has been in a major motion picture every year for a decade. And it's not like John Lithgow or Belle Powley are exactly hurting for opportunities either. And look, I get it. We all loved the Wizard book 20 years ago. Well, not all of us. But like, my God, it is 2026.
Yeah.
You probably knew at least some of what I just told you before even seeing this video. Trans people are being blamed for all of society's ills, which is resulting in widespread violence against them. At some point, you are going to be asked to stand for something.
Well, there's a lot to unpack there because he is not very coherent at all, our friend Matt Bernstein. But first off, the idea that people working with this Harry Potter series is in any way, it's like you are enabling her lifestyle where she just sits around in her castle and tweets about trans people. Let's just take at face value. And I'm sure she does lots of other stuff. But like, let's say, sure, she just sits on her piles of money and tweets about trans people all day. Okay, she's a billionaire. You think people working with this HBO show or not makes any difference at all? Yeah, you're right. If everyone just finally got on board and boycotted, she'd be forced to start flipping burgers or something. What? Do you see how even if you were some JK Rowling hater, even if you were some radical trans activist ideologue, and I agree with some of what she says on these issues, and I disagree with some of other things she says or does on these issues, but it's like, this is not even logically coherent from that extreme progressive perspective. It's just they've just stewed their brains in like woke slop echo chambers for so long that it's just, well, of course JK Rowling is evil and we must boycott, even if that boycott has no connection to reality or any sort of meaningful accomplishment or impact whatsoever. Like, he's going through these actors one by one and he's saying, well, you have a successful career. You don't need this opportunity. You could have found something else. Well, sure, that's probably true, but it's a great opportunity to do a role that they'll love, that millions of people will enjoy, that affects trans people in no way whatsoever. And you're saying they should have, I don't know, done a little protest and said, I refuse because I don't like the things she tweets or what have you. One, I don't think that they all necessarily are as obsessed with this issue as you are, Matt. But two, what would that achieve? Somebody else just takes the role, you don't get to do it, and literally nothing changes. It's not like JK Rowling loses money or somehow is unable to tweet about trans people still. It's just like you demand that people engage in the most vapid and meaningless virtue signaling, and then you take it as some sort of profound betrayal when they refuse to sabotage their own careers for literally no reason and having literally no impact. And then you think they're the unreasonable ones rather than looking in the mirror. Like, gosh. And it's so funny to me how he, at one point in this video, he's like, come on, guys, it's 2026. You should know this. No, babe, it's 2026. You should take the they, them pronouns out of your bio and stop obsessing over stupid shit all the time. That ship sailed. Nobody's, like Caleb Hammer says, blue hair people, we don't listen to you anymore. Well, I'm saying non-binary people upset about dumb shit for no reason, we don't listen to you anymore. It's 2026. So get a grip. And it's not just him. He has millions of followers who are genuinely this delusional. So I'll read you some of the comments. The first one, my trans friends' lives are more important than any Harry Potter shit. It's like, do they ever, if I asked him, if I gave him a whiteboard and I said, okay, draw it out for me, King. How does watching Harry Potter, the new show or not, have any impact on a trans person whatsoever? What does he put on the whiteboard? There's no connection. She has infinity money. She can donate to whatever causes she wants. Her tweets already get, countless millions of views. And it's not because a new show is airing on HBO. It's like it has no impact whatsoever. It is a piece of art that people enjoy that has nothing to do with the subject. So why not just let people have nice things and stop being such a toxic buzzkill and woke scold all the time? Because that's really worked out great for y'all's movement. Really. So it seems to be something of a recipe for success. Right. Oh, wait, it's actually the exact approach that has led your movement to plummet in support. And another comment here. One of my favorite comfort that people at my work wouldn't give up was their Starbucks coffee, knowing fully why I boycotted the chain and seeing me cry about the ongoing genocide in Gaza. My dear, if they can't give up something as trivial as iced coffee, do you think they would give up any income? Sadly and shamefully in our society, comfort trumps scruples. It's a very depressing realization for me in the past 4 years. Now, the reason this is funny to me is because the whole Starbucks thing, Starbucks is a pro-Israel company, is literally fake. It's actually hallucinated. Starbucks doesn't even have stores in Israel, and it doesn't give money to Israel. That's not a thing. They just made it up and boycotted it for essentially no reason. And then they used the fact that most normal people aren't going to go on board with something that makes no sense and has no impact and isn't real as like somehow proof that everyone else is just heartless and lacking in compassion, when in reality they are just delusional. And so it's hilarious because these situations are very similar where the boycotts make no actual sense. And yet he's citing that as evidence, or this commenter is citing that as evidence of like, clearly everyone else is just heartless, unlike us, super generous and empathetic people. Finally, another comment. We will literally love any fiction more than trans people, the Bible and Harry Potter, both unoriginal, mean-spirited, trope-ridden pieces of fiction that we hold more dear than actual people. I don't really follow this comment or what the debate over Harry Potter and JK Rowling has to do with the Bible, but okay. And I kind of am blown away by the fact that these folks still don't get it. You are the problem, right? You are part of the reason why public support for your movement and your cause has plummeted, because you die on the most absurd hills, like trans women and women's sports, which is a just obviously nonsensical, lunatic idea that there aren't even very many of them, so you just give it up. And yet they die on this hill and then they wonder why support plummets. It's the same thing. It's like you declare war on children's fiction series that have nothing to do with trans people because of your gripes there's no direct correlation whatsoever with the series and the cause you're upset about. And then you're like, but why aren't people flocking to our movement? Because it's unreasonable, because you come off as unhinged, because you do this kind of thing and you try to tell people they can't enjoy things or have nice things, and nobody likes buzzkill woke scolds. And it's just, there's absolutely no self-reflection, no growth, no learning. They're still doing the same stuff that's led their movement off a cliff. But other than that, they're doing amazing. Remember, guys, it's 2026. Oh, wait, that's actually the message they have all seemed to totally fail to internalize. That's just my take on this latest internet meltdown over JK Rowling. That makes no sense. So kind of a day that ends in Y. You guys will have to let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe if you aren't yet. Do hit that like button and consider becoming a channel member to support my work. With that, guys, we will be back with more real soon.